Angelina Jolie's kids have grown up in the whirlwind of one of Hollywood's most infamous divorces, and their lives in 2025 are truly shocking. From high-profile school choices to bold career moves, her 6 children are stepping into the world with surprising independence and ambition. Here's the full update on how Maddox, Pax, Zahara, Shiloh, Knox, and Vivian are living their lives today, far beyond the shadow of the Brad Pitt saga. Maddox Chivon Jolie Pitt. 7 months after Maddox Chivon was born in Cambodia in August 2001, Angelina Jolie's life changed forever. In March 2002, Jolie adopted him on her own, despite still being married to actor and musician Billy Bob Thornton at the time. What was meant to be a shared adoption quickly turned into a solo journey, as Thornton withdrew from the process, leaving Jolie to take on motherhood independently. Their marriage unraveled soon afterward, with the couple officially divorcing in May 2003. Maddox, however, became Jolie's anchor. At just 27 years old, she was a first-time mother, navigating the demands of Hollywood stardom while raising a son from across the world, and she did it largely on her own. 2 years later, Jolie's personal life took another dramatic turn when she began a relationship with Brad Pitt, her co-star from Mr. and Mrs. Smith. By early 2006, Pitt legally adopted Maddox, solidifying his role as the boy's father figure. Together, Jolie and Pitt went on to create a large family, but Maddox remained the one who had started it all. He had been there before the global headlines, the red carpet family photos, and the Brangelina frenzy. For Jolie especially, Maddox represented her first conscious step into motherhood, long before her life became defined by being a parent to 6. As Maddox grew older, his connection to his mother deepened through shared interests and creative collaborations. He often tagged along on her film sets, observing the industry that had shaped her career. By the time Jolie directed By the Sea in 2015, Maddox had already developed an eye for behind-the-scenes work. He joined the production as an assistant, gaining first-hand experience of the complexities of filmmaking. 2 years later, his role expanded significantly when he served as an executive producer on First They Killed My Father, 2017, Jolie's harrowing adaptation of Laung Ung's memoir about surviving the Cambodian genocide. The project was personal for both of them. Jolie, who had adopted Maddox from Cambodia, wanted to honor his heritage, and Maddox, though young, embraced the responsibility with maturity. By then, Maddox was stepping into adulthood, and his next chapter took him far from Hollywood. In August 2019, he enrolled at Yonsei University in Seoul, South Korea, beginning his freshman year in biochemistry. Jolie, visibly emotional, accompanied him on move-in day. Videos circulated of her hugging him tightly, holding back tears as she said goodbye. "It's hard, but I'm so proud of him," she told fans and reporters at the airport. For Jolie, it was the bittersweet moment every parent faces, watching the child they once held as a baby take flight into independence. But Maddox's move to South Korea also shone a light on another, more painful aspect of his life: his strained relationship with Brad Pitt. In 2016, the Jolie-Pitt family had endured a very public rupture after an infamous altercation on a private jet. Reports alleged that Pitt had screamed at then 15-year-old Maddox during the flight, an incident that became central to the couple's divorce and custody battle. The relationship between father and son reportedly never fully recovered after that night. When Maddox was approached on campus in late 2019 and asked about Pitt, his response revealed both maturity and distance. "Whatever happens, happens," he said simply. His words carried the weight of someone who had been forced to grow up quickly under the glare of the public eye. Asked further whether Pitt had plans to visit him in South Korea, Maddox admitted he did not know. The answer, while measured, highlighted just how fractured the father-son bond had become. Pax Thien, Jolie Pitt. Pax Thien Jolie Pitt's journey into the public eye began thousands of miles away from Hollywood. Born in Vietnam in November 2003, he spent his earliest years in an orphanage in Ho Chi Minh City. His life took a dramatic turn in March 2007 when Angelina Jolie adopted him at the age of 3. At the time, Jolie was already a mother to Maddox, Zahara, and Shiloh, and bringing Pax into the fold expanded her growing multicultural family. The adoption was not without challenges. Because Vietnamese law at the time prohibited unmarried couples from adopting together, Jolie completed the process as a single parent. By the following year, however, her then-partner Brad Pitt formally adopted Pax as well, in February 2008, making him an official member of the Jolie-Pitt family. With Pitt's involvement, Pax joined a household that was rapidly becoming one of the most famous families in the world. Despite the glare of the media spotlight, Jolie and Pitt emphasized giving their children as normal a life as possible while also encouraging them to embrace their roots and creativity. From a young age, Pax showed signs of artistic and creative inclinations. Like his older brother Maddox, he occasionally worked alongside his mother on film projects. In 2016, he lent his voice to a minor character in Kung Fu Panda 3, one of the animated series that Jolie herself was heavily involved in. Though it was a small role, it marked Pax's first foray into the entertainment industry, giving him a behind-the-scenes glimpse of the craft his parents had mastered. Later, when Jolie directed First They Killed My Father, 2017, a passion project based on the Cambodian genocide and produced in collaboration with Netflix, Pax contributed as a set photographer. His eye for imagery became evident, and his quiet work behind the lens offered a glimpse of where his true passions might lie. In January 2023, Pax once again became the subject of public intrigue when Page 6 reported that he was secretly working as an artist under the pseudonym M. To. According to the outlet, he specialized in digital and mixed media art, maintaining anonymity as he developed his craft outside of his family's immense fame. The report sparked speculation about whether Pax was preparing to step into the art world on his own terms, carving out an identity distinct from the Hollywood legacies of his parents. However, a representative for Jolie quickly denied the claims, insisting that Pax was not behind the pseudonym. Whether true or not, the rumors highlighted how much curiosity surrounded Pax's personal pursuits and his desire for privacy. That desire for independence was tested the following year when Pax made headlines for far more troubling reasons. In July 2024, news broke that he had been hospitalized following an e-bike accident in Los Angeles. According to reports, Pax had crashed into a car that was stationary at a red light, sustaining a head injury and hip pain from the impact. Though the incident sounded serious, he was described as being in stable condition, with doctors expecting him to be released soon after the accident became public. For his family, the episode was a sobering reminder of how quickly life could change, but for the public, it underscored that even celebrity children face the same risks and vulnerabilities as anyone else. Zahara Marley, Jolie Pitt. When Angelina Jolie traveled to Ethiopia in 2005, she made one of the most life-changing decisions of her life, adopting a little girl who would soon capture the hearts of millions. Zahara Marley Jolie was born in January of that year, and by July, at just 7 months old, she was officially Jolie's daughter. At the time, Angelina was already a mother to Maddox, whom she had adopted from Cambodia in 2002, and was beginning to shape her identity as not just a Hollywood superstar, but also as a global humanitarian and mother of a growing family. Zahara's adoption came during a transformative period in Jolie's life and would become even more significant when Brad Pitt, then her partner, chose to legally adopt Zahara in early 2006, solidifying his role in her life and giving the little girl his last name. Growing up in the spotlight as one of the 6 Jolie Pitt children, Zahara often appeared alongside her siblings and parents on red carpets, humanitarian trips, and public outings. Known for her close bond with her mother and protective nature toward her younger siblings, Zahara seemed to thrive in the unique but sometimes chaotic environment of Hollywood's most watched family. Yet unlike her older brother Maddox, who has shown a particular passion for film and international studies, Zahara has largely kept her interests grounded in creativity and humanitarian causes. Her brief dip into Hollywood came in 2016 when she lent her voice to a small role in Kung Fu Panda 3, in which her mother also starred. While it was a fun project that let her test out the entertainment world, Zahara didn't seem eager to pursue acting. Instead, she found a calling in combining artistry with philanthropy. In October 2019, at just 14 years old, she helped design a line of jewelry called the Zahara Collection, created in partnership with jeweler Robert Prokop. True to her family's humanitarian roots, proceeds from the pieces went toward shelters supporting battered women. For Jolie, it was a proud moment to see her daughter channel creativity into helping others, reflecting the values she herself has long embodied through her humanitarian work with refugees and displaced families around the globe. By the time 2022 rolled around, Zahara was ready to carve out her independence in an even bigger way: college. That August, she began her freshman year at Spelman College, the prestigious historically black women's institution in Atlanta, Georgia. Jolie accompanied her daughter to campus and was visibly emotional during the drop-off. In a video posted on Instagram, the Oscar-winning actress admitted, "I'm going to start crying if I talk about it, so hopefully I can hold it together." Her bittersweet tears reflected the universal moment every parent feels when their child leaves the nest. But Zahara's college journey wasn't just personal. It became a public headline when she decided to go by Zahara Jolie instead of Zahara Jolie Pitt. During her induction into Alpha Kappa Alpha, the first historically black sorority founded in 1908, she introduced herself without her father's surname. For many, it was seen as a subtle yet meaningful statement amid her parents' long and highly publicized divorce saga. The moment added fuel to speculation about her relationship with Pitt, though publicly, he expressed nothing but pride. In an interview with Vanity Fair later that year, Brad Pitt called his daughter smart and predicted she would flourish even more at college. He described the new chapter as an exciting and beautiful time to find her own way and pursue her interests, adding, "I'm so proud." His comments painted the picture of a father who, despite strained family dynamics, remained deeply supportive of his child's independence. Shiloh Nouvelle, Jolie Pitt. In May 2006, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt welcomed their first biological child together, Shiloh Nouvelle Jolie Pitt, at a private hospital in Namibia. The decision to give birth abroad was deliberate, seeking privacy from the relentless media frenzy surrounding their growing family. At just days old, Shiloh was already one of the most photographed babies in the world, as international headlines documented every detail of her arrival. The choice of Namibia reflected not only Jolie and Pitt's desire for a safe haven, but also their long-standing interest in global humanitarianism, a value that would come to shape Shiloh's childhood. From the very beginning, Shiloh stood out, not just because of her famous parents, but also because of her individuality. In a 2010 interview with Reuters, Jolie addressed her daughter's self-expression candidly. She revealed that Shiloh preferred a tomboy style, often gravitating toward suits, short hair, and what Jolie described as being one of the brothers. Rather than impose societal expectations, Jolie championed her daughter's independence, explaining, "I would never force somebody to be something they are not. Children should be allowed to express themselves in whatever way they wish without anybody judging them because it is an important part of their growth. Society always has something to learn when it comes to the way we judge each other, label each other. We have far to go." Her words resonated globally, sparking conversations about parenting, gender identity, and acceptance. Shiloh largely grew up away from Hollywood's glare, though paparazzi lenses often caught glimpses of her alongside her siblings. Unlike her older brother Maddox, who explored interests in film and international studies, or her sister Zahara, who pursued design and academics at Spelman College, Shiloh preferred a quieter life. She avoided interviews and red carpets, allowing her individuality to speak through her style and passions rather than public statements. One of Shiloh's most defining outlets became dance. Though her father jokingly admitted to having 2 left feet, Shiloh flourished in the art form. In an Entertainment Tonight interview in August 2022, Pitt gushed about his daughter's talent, saying, "It brings a tear to the eye. I don't know where she got it from. She's very beautiful." Clips of Shiloh dancing to choreographed routines often went viral online, impressing fans with her natural rhythm and dedication. Her grace and stage presence showed that even if she avoided the entertainment industry, she had inherited her parents' artistic spirit in her own unique way. In August 2023, Shiloh surprised many with a bold new look, a pink buzz cut. The hairstyle quickly made headlines, not only because it was a striking transformation, but also because it reaffirmed her reputation for charting her own course. Far from conforming to traditional beauty standards, Shiloh embraced reinvention, using her appearance as a form of self-expression. The most defining step in her independence came in 2025. After turning 18 years old in May, Shiloh took legal action to formally change her name. In June 2025, court documents revealed that she had filed to remove Pitt from her last name, choosing instead to be known as Jolie. The move instantly reignited public discussion, given her parents' long and tumultuous divorce battle. While she never publicly explained her decision, many interpreted it as a desire to forge her own identity apart from her famous lineage, and possibly as a reflection of her strained relationship with her father. Knox Leon Jolie Pitt. In July 2008, the Jolie-Pitt household grew once again when Angelina Jolie gave birth to twins at a seaside hospital in Nice, France. The world had already been buzzing for months, as Jolie had debuted her growing baby bump in February of that year at the Independent Spirit Awards, stepping onto the red carpet glowing in a flowing gown that left no doubt she was expecting. By the time the twins arrived, Knox Leon first, followed just minutes later by his sister Vivienne Marceline, the event was treated like a global news story. Media outlets camped outside the French hospital for days, and their birth certificates quickly became front-page news. The couple's decision to welcome their twins in France wasn't random. Jolie and Pitt had been living at Chateau Miraval, their estate in the French countryside, which offered privacy and security far from the Hollywood spotlight. Knox's birth order made him technically the younger of the Jolie-Pitt sons, following in the footsteps of Maddox and Pax, but his simultaneous arrival with Vivienne also made him part of one of the most famous sibling duos in modern celebrity culture. As with all of the Jolie-Pitt children, Jolie and Pitt attempted to balance their children's exposure to the media with a desire to give them as normal a childhood as possible. This meant that while Knox was frequently photographed as a child alongside his siblings during family outings, he has remained one of the most private members of the brood. Unlike Shiloh, whose style and identity became the subject of worldwide headlines, or Zahara, who went on to pursue academics at Spelman College, Knox has managed to keep much of his personality shielded from public scrutiny. One of the few glimpses fans received into Knox's personality came in 2016, when he joined his siblings to lend his voice to the animated film Kung Fu Panda 3, in which his mother also starred. The project was a family affair, with several of the Jolie-Pitt children recording lines for minor animal characters. For Knox, then just 8 years old, it was a light-hearted introduction to the entertainment industry, though he did not pursue further acting opportunities. The role, however small, became a fun footnote in the family's shared creative history. Public sightings of Knox since then have been rare. In August 2022, he made a low-key appearance at Universal Studios Hollywood, where he joined family members for a day of rides and attractions. The trip, while casual, drew attention because it was one of the few times in recent years that Knox had been spotted in public. Fans noted how much he had grown, no longer the little boy seen in paparazzi photos of the early 2010s, but a tall teenager beginning to resemble both of his famous parents. The following summer, in July 2023, Knox surfaced again, this time on a coffee run with siblings Pax, Zahara, and Shiloh. The outing was a rare, candid moment that highlighted the closeness of the Jolie-Pitt siblings, who have often been seen supporting one another despite their parents' ongoing legal disputes. As always, Knox kept a low profile, dressed casually, and seemed unfazed by the attention. Though Knox remains largely out of the spotlight, his upbringing has been anything but ordinary. Raised in a family that spans multiple nationalities and cultural backgrounds, he has had a front-row seat to both Hollywood fame and global humanitarian work. Jolie's frequent travels for her role as a UNHCR special envoy exposed her children, including Knox, to refugee camps and international missions from an early age. These experiences, though rarely discussed publicly by the children themselves, have undoubtedly shaped their worldview. Vivian Marceline Jolie Pitt. When Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt welcomed their twins in July 2008, it marked one of the most anticipated celebrity births of the decade. Born at a seaside hospital in Nice, France, Knox Leon arrived just minutes before his twin sister, Vivienne Marceline, whose middle name was chosen to honor Jolie's late mother, Marceline Bertrand. The couple's decision to give birth abroad reflected both their desire for privacy and their affection for France, where they were living at Chateau Miraval, their sprawling estate in the countryside. In interviews that year, Jolie candidly admitted that welcoming twins had been a shock for both her and Pitt, though she described the experience with a mix of awe and pragmatism. Speaking with Entertainment Weekly in 2008, the Oscar-winning actress explained that the family was up to the challenge of raising two newborns at once, thanks in part to the support of their older children. They were old enough to feel included, Jolie said, noting that Maddox, Pax, Zahara, and Shiloh all eagerly helped with feeding, changing, and bonding with the twins. This sense of inclusion helped the family transition into their new chapter, with Vivian instantly embraced as both the youngest daughter and part of a sibling group that was already becoming one of Hollywood's most famous broods. While her twin brother Knox has maintained a relatively private life, Vivian took a different path early on by stepping into the world of acting. At just 5 years old, she appeared alongside her mother in Disney's 2014 film Maleficent, portraying the young version of Princess Aurora. Jolie later revealed that casting Vivian wasn't about giving her daughter a career opportunity, but rather out of necessity. Vivian was the only child who wasn't frightened of Jolie's elaborate, Maleficent costume, complete with sharp horns and striking makeup. The scenes featuring mother and daughter charmed audiences, and Vivian's natural sweetness added authenticity to the film's emotional core. Despite her early foray into acting, Vivian did not pursue further on-screen roles. Instead, she retreated from Hollywood life, much like most of her siblings, focusing on her education and personal interests. As she entered her teenage years, public glimpses of Vivian became increasingly rare, with only occasional sightings during family outings with her mother and siblings. That changed in August 2023, when Vivian surfaced in a new and surprising role as a volunteer assistant for Jolie in her Broadway debut as a producer. Angelina had taken on the task of producing a stage adaptation of S.E. Hinton's The Outsiders, a coming-of-age story set in 1960s Oklahoma. Vivian, then just 15 years old, joined her mother in New York City to help behind the scenes. According to Jolie, her daughter had developed a keen interest in theater and wanted to learn every aspect of the production process, from rehearsals to staging. Jolie praised her daughter's seriousness and curiosity, describing her as someone with a mind for theater and a collaborative spirit. What do you think about the current life of Angelina Jolie's children? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.